Aquarius, if you were born on these dates, you are destined for genius and prosperity. Hey there, cosmic explorers. Welcome to Esoteric Wisdom, the place where we don't just scratch the surface of astrology. We dig deep into the hidden layers of the universe. If you've ever wondered about the forces that shape your life, your path, and your destiny, you've found the right space. Now, here's a question for you. Did you know that your birth date could unlock the secrets of who you truly are? Think about that for a second. Whether you were born on February 10th or March 5th, there's something incredibly powerful embedded in your Aquarian DNA that holds the key to your potential. The traits that define you, what drives you, what challenges you, and even what might be blocking your true greatness. These aren't just cosmic coincidences. This is real knowledge that you can use in your daily life to level up, both personally and professionally. But here's the twist. We're not here for a typical horoscope reading. We're diving way beyond that. Today, we're unlocking the deeper Aquarius secrets that can help you in the real world. How can your Aquarian energy shape your relationships? How can understanding your sign transform your career? What do you need to know to truly evolve and step into your fullest potential? Stay with me until the end of this video because I'll share some personal stories and powerful insights on how Aquarians can harness their cosmic gifts to manifest greatness in their lives. Ready to discover what makes you tick? Aquarius? Buckle up. This is going to be one wild cosmic ride. Let's dive into the stars and uncover the true power of Aquarius. Chapter 1. The Cosmic Blueprint of Aquarius. What makes you unique? Aquarius is often called the rebel of the zodiac, but this label doesn't quite capture the depth of what makes this air sign truly remarkable. It's not a rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's a rebellion of the mind, a rejection of conventional thinking, of ideas that break through societal norms and encourage innovation. Aquarians have a vision, a visionary quality that often feels ahead of its time. They're not just thinking outside the box, they're redesigning the box entirely, creating new ways of seeing and being in the world. But what does that really mean in practice? How does this cosmic blueprint manifest in the life of an Aquarius, and how can we understand it better through real-life examples? Aquarians, born on dates like February 10th, for example, are constantly pushing the boundaries of their imagination. They live in a world where the possibilities are endless, and the status quo just doesn't cut it. Let's think about an Aquarius I once worked with, born on that very date. This person was a walking example of what it means to be an Aquarius. Their mind was always in motion, questioning everything from the most trivial aspects of daily life to the very foundations of how business and society function. They didn't just accept things because that's how it's always been done. They saw systems, processes, and ideas as something to be reimagined. It was this constant questioning, this hunger for innovation, that made them stand out, and, in many ways, led to breakthroughs. Take a moment and think about it. How many times have you felt that same drive to innovate or disrupt? Maybe you're the type who sees a traditional path and thinks, no, there's a better way. That's the Aquarian spark. But here's the catch, the challenge. This desire to innovate comes with an inherent impatience. As much as Aquarians are driven by a need to push boundaries, they also want to see results now. Time moves slowly in a world that's constantly changing, and this is often where Aquarians struggle the most. The restless spirit. In my own early years, I vividly remember facing this same impatience with slow progress. There was a time when I was working on a project that had all the ingredients of success, a talented team, a great idea, and the right resources, but progress was slow, painfully slow, and I could feel myself becoming increasingly frustrated. My mind raced with new ideas, all of them begging to be implemented immediately, but nothing seemed to move as quickly as I wanted it to. I nearly abandoned the entire venture because I felt the momentum was slipping away. I just couldn't accept how long it was taking to turn a vision into reality. But here's the thing about innovation, it takes time. It takes experimentation, refinement, and often, a few failed attempts along the way. What I didn't realize at the time was that patience was just as crucial as the desire for change. If I had walked away then, I would have missed out on the fruits of my labor. Instead, When I finally embraced the idea that success is a process, not an immediate outcome, the pieces began to fall into place. The same holds true for Aquarians. Impatience can either be your downfall or your greatest power, depending on how you channel it. Aquarius, with its deep desire to innovate, often struggles with a sense of urgency. There's a burning need to see immediate results. But the universe moves at its own pace. And innovation, as fast as it comes, can sometimes be a slow burn. So, if you're an Aquarius born on February 10th, or any other day, you might find yourself grappling with that restlessness. It's part of the blueprint, part of what makes you uniquely driven. But here's the secret, it's all about balance. The key to navigating that impatience is learning how to balance your relentless drive with a sense of patience. Yes, your creativity is a gift. But timing is everything, and sometimes, the most powerful breakthroughs come not from rushing to finish something but from letting it evolve naturally. Aquarius and the cosmic vision. Beyond impatience, Aquarians also possess an ability to see things from a higher perspective. It's as if their minds have access to the cosmic flow of ideas and innovations that others may not see. This broader perspective often leads to them championing progressive causes, whether it's environmental sustainability, social justice, or technology. Aquarius is the visionary, always thinking ahead, pulling humanity toward a brighter future. In the world of work, you can see this trait manifest in Aquarians pushing boundaries in technology or social change. They may not always follow the conventional path to success, but they make their own. These trailblazers often find themselves at the forefront of innovation, leading teams, driving new ideas, or starting movements that seem to come out of nowhere. This can be seen in some of the most famous Aquarians in history. From Thomas Edison to Oprah Winfrey, individuals who broke barriers and thought beyond the norm. For those born on February 10th, that cosmic blueprint of innovation is likely even more pronounced. The challenge for them, however, is how to harness this cosmic power without burning out. They're the kind of people who may leap into projects with immense enthusiasm, only to lose interest once the initial excitement fades. That's where focus comes in. Aquarians need to learn how to stay grounded in their ideas and maintain their energy over the long haul, even when the results aren't immediately visible. A cosmic paradox, detached yet compassionate. One of the most interesting aspects of Aquarius is the paradox that defines them. On one hand, Aquarians are known for their intellectual detachment. They approach the world with a rational, almost clinical perspective, often preferring to look at situations objectively rather than emotionally. This can make them seem distant or aloof at times. But on the other hand, they are deeply compassionate and humanistic, often driven by a desire to make the world a better place for everyone. This balance of detachment and compassion can be seen in Aquarians' approach to relationships and social causes. They may not always wear their hearts on their sleeves, but they are always advocating for fairness, equality, and progress. They have a unique ability to think outside of themselves, looking at issues from a societal level rather than personal. In relationships, Aquarians may take time to open up emotionally, but when they do, they are fiercely loyal and committed. They need a partner who understands that their desire for independence and freedom is not a reflection of their love or commitment, it's just who they are. An Aquarius doesn't need to be smothered. They need space to grow and evolve. And a partner who respects that can expect a relationship that is deeply rewarding, albeit a little unconventional. The Aquarius journey, evolution through patience. So, what does this all mean for an Aquarius born on February 10th? Or anyone with the Aquarian spirit? It's about evolution through patience and self-awareness. Aquarians may never be content with simply existing. They are always pushing, always evolving, always questioning, and that's one of their greatest strengths. But in order to manifest their highest potential, Aquarians must learn that innovation doesn't happen overnight. Change takes time, and the universe moves at its own pace. Embrace that restlessness, but don't let it control you. Channel it into your work, your passions, and your relationships. But remember that greatness is built brick by brick, idea by idea. With patience, you can turn that cosmic spark of genius into lasting change. In the next chapter, we'll explore more about the practical applications of Aquarian energy in love, career, and personal growth. But for now, if you're an Aquarius, remember, you're not just here to follow the path, you're here to create a new one. Trust in your vision, and trust in the process. Chapter 2, Aquarius and the Quest for Innovation. When you think of Aquarius, one word often comes to mind: innovation. It's not just about thinking differently, it's about reshaping reality itself. Aquarians, especially those born on February 15th or March 1st, have a remarkable ability to see the world in ways that others simply can't. They're the true visionaries, the trailblazers who have the potential to rewrite the rules and change the course of history. But as with any great gift, there's a double-edged sword to this brilliance. Sometimes, their ideas can be too advanced, too ahead of their time. And when that happens, they often find themselves standing alone, waiting for the world to catch up. Take the example of an Aquarius born on March 1st, a man I once worked with who is an embodiment of the Aquarian spirit. He had a unique ability to view his industry from a completely unconventional angle. Where others saw obstacles, he saw opportunities. Where others followed trends, he broke them. He didn't just want to be successful, he wanted to change everything. And he did. He revolutionized his entire field. But for a long time, the road wasn't easy. His ideas were so far outside the box that they often seemed incomprehensible to those around him. He struggled to convey his vision, and many of his peers dismissed his ideas as too radical. This experience of being misunderstood is a challenge many Aquarians face. Their minds are so ahead of the curve that the world isn't always ready to embrace their concepts right away. It's like trying to explain tomorrow's technology to a crowd still figuring out how to use the tools of today. That's where the frustration comes in. Aquarians are driven by the desire to innovate, but when they feel like no one understands their vision or is willing to support it, they can become disheartened. For this Aquarius, it wasn't until he found like-minded individuals, people who shared his passion for progress, that everything started to fall into place. These people didn't just listen to him, they were willing to work alongside him to make his vision a reality. And that was the breakthrough moment. Finding your tribe. The lesson here is crucial for any Aquarius, especially those born on February 15th or March 1st. Finding your tribe is essential. It's not enough to just have a great idea. You need the right people around you. People who understand your drive and are just as eager to push boundaries. There's a certain energy that comes with being surrounded by like-minded individuals. They become your sounding board, your partners in crime, your collaborators who help turn your wild ideas into concrete projects. Aquarians are often solitary thinkers. They tend to gravitate toward independent work, seeing themselves as the lone wolf in the world of conventionality. But here's the truth, even the most independent Aquarians need others to realize their vision. The innovative ideas that swirl around in your mind need a supportive community to nurture them. And when you find those people who share your passion for progress, the possibilities are endless. But how do you find them? How do you know who is truly aligned with your vision? This can be one of the biggest challenges for Aquarians. Often, the people around them are content with the status quo or are simply too conventional in their thinking to understand the radical changes Aquarians want to make. It takes a certain kind of person to not just accept the future, but to actively create it alongside you. One of the key traits of Aquarius is their ability to see what others can't. This visionary quality is often accompanied by an innate understanding that their ideas might not make sense to the average person. But that's okay. Not everyone needs to understand your vision right away. What's important is that you trust in your ideas and in the process of bringing them to life. And when the right people come into your life, you'll know, because they'll see the world through the same lens of possibility that you do. The challenge of being ahead of the curve. The reality for an Aquarius born on February 15th or March 1st is that being ahead of the curve is both a blessing and a challenge. The ideas they possess are groundbreaking, but they often exist in a world that is not yet ready for them. In these moments, frustration is inevitable. Aquarians might feel like they're constantly battling against a tide of resistance, trying to convince others of the validity of their ideas. And, more often than not, they face rejection, sometimes from friends, family, and colleagues who just can't grasp the depth of their vision. It's important to recognize that being ahead of the curve doesn't mean you're alone. It just means the world needs time to catch up with you. Remember that time is a critical factor in the process of innovation. Many of the ideas that we now take for granted, like the internet, space exploration, or electric vehicles, were once viewed as impossible, impractical, or just plain crazy. The visionary who spoke of them was dismissed, laughed at, or rejected by the masses. But those ideas lived on. And eventually, the world came around. Aquarians who are passionate about innovation must learn to be patient with themselves and with the world. Change takes time. Visionaries may see the possibilities before others do, but it often requires persistence to make those possibilities a reality. So, if you're an Aquarius, don't get discouraged when the world doesn't immediately understand or support your ideas. Trust that you are planting seeds, even if it takes years for them to grow. And in the meantime, surround yourself with people who see your potential and will help nurture your vision. Innovation through collaboration. While Aquarius is known for their independent nature, one of the most powerful ways to bring innovative ideas to life is through collaboration. This doesn't mean compromising your vision or diluting your creativity. It means bringing in others who complement your strengths and help you refine your ideas. When Aquarians collaborate, they can amplify their impact, often reaching new heights of success that they could never achieve alone. I've seen this firsthand with an Aquarius friend who is a talented inventor. She's spent years working on a revolutionary technology, but it wasn't until she teamed up with a group of engineers, designers, and marketing experts that her vision truly took flight. Each person brought something to the table that she couldn't have done on her own. By trusting others and working together, her ideas evolved and flourished in ways she had never imagined. Aquarians often have a deep sense of individuality and autonomy, but they must recognize that even the most groundbreaking ideas can benefit from input and support. By collaborating with others, Aquarians can accelerate innovation and see their visions come to life faster than they ever thought possible. Patience, persistence, and the power of your ideas. If you were born on February 15th or March 1st, you likely have a deeply ingrained sense of purpose and a desire to create lasting change. But it's important to remember that innovation is a journey, not a destination. The road may be filled with obstacles, frustration, and moments of doubt, but the power of your ideas lies in their ability to persist, to evolve, and to eventually transform the world. Your job isn't to force the world to accept your vision immediately, it's to keep pushing forward, even when the world seems slow to catch up. When you find the right people to support you and the right moments to unveil your ideas, everything will fall into place. And while patience is essential, so is the belief that your ideas matter. Keep trusting that your innovative spirit will make a difference, even if it takes time. So, whether you were born on February 15th, March 1st Street, or any other day under the Aquarius banner, remember, you are a pioneer. And like any great pioneer, you will face obstacles and setbacks. But your journey will be worth it. And the impact you make will leave a lasting legacy for those who follow in your footsteps. Chapter 3. The intensity of Aquarius in relationships. Aquarians, especially those born on February 17th or March 3rd, are often misunderstood when it comes to their emotional landscape. To the outside world, they might appear distant or detached, almost cold in their interactions, particularly when it comes to matters of the heart. But this outward demeanor couldn't be farther from the truth. Beneath their aloofness lies an intense emotional core that only a few are fortunate enough to experience. Aquarians, in reality, can have incredibly deep, authentic emotional connections, but they go about relationships in a way that is uniquely their own. They don't wear their feelings on their sleeves. They don't engage in the dramatic displays of affection that many might expect. Instead, their love is quiet, enduring, and profoundly sincere. For those born on February 17th or March 3rd, love is not about constant validation or public displays of affection. These Aquarians are not the type to shout their emotions from the rooftops or broadcast their relationships on social media. Their love is private, and often, those who are fortunate enough to experience it will find that their partner's affection runs deep and steady, though often hidden behind a wall of self-protection. This isn't because they are incapable of love, far from it. It's simply that Aquarians take time to trust, and they are incredibly selective about who they allow into their emotional world. I remember a friend of mine, born on March 3rd, who exemplified this Aquarius paradox in a way that was both eye-opening and revealing. Outgoing, witty, and the life of the party. They could charm anyone in a room with ease. They were always the center of attention, always making people laugh, always ready to engage in deep, stimulating conversations. But when it came to their own relationships, romantic or otherwise, the story changed entirely. Despite their extroverted nature, they were highly guarded when it came to matters of the heart. At first, I couldn't understand why someone who seemed so confident and social would be so closed off in their personal life. But over time, it became clear that their aloofness wasn't about a lack of emotion or a disinterest in others. It was simply about control and authenticity. They didn't want to open up to just anyone. They only allowed those who truly saw them for who they were, without judgment or pretension, into their inner circle. It was only when they trusted someone completely that they allowed their true emotions to surface. And when they did, their love was a force to be reckoned with, deep, unwavering, and real. However, the challenge for many Aquarians in relationships, especially those born on February 17th or March 3rd, lies in this disconnect. To the outside world, they can appear unapproachable, even cold at times. People often misunderstand their need for space, interpreting it as a lack of interest. But for Aquarians, space isn't a rejection, it's a way to maintain balance and preserve the integrity of their emotional world. They don't want to be smothered, nor do they want to feel like they are losing themselves in a relationship. They need to have room to breathe, think, and be themselves. If you're in a relationship with an Aquarius, especially one born on February 17th or March 3rd, it's crucial to understand that their detachment isn't personal. It's just their way of protecting the vulnerable parts of themselves. Aquarians need time to process their emotions, and they often prefer to do so in private, away from the prying eyes of others. They want to make sure they're making decisions based on their true feelings, not external pressures or fleeting moments of intensity. Authenticity and emotional honesty. One of the most important things to understand about Aquarians in relationships is that they value authenticity above all else. Aquarians are repelled by anything that feels fake, contrived, or forced. They are incredibly in tune with their own emotions and have a keen sense of authenticity in others. So, when they open up to someone, they want it to be genuine. They want their partner to be just as real and honest with them as they are with themselves. They can sense dishonesty or manipulation from a mile away, and if they feel like someone is trying to control them or make them conform to something they're not, they will retreat. This desire for authenticity can sometimes make Aquarians seem standoffish or uninterested, especially when they're not sure about the intentions of the person they're engaging with. They want to be seen for who they are, not who someone else wants them to be. The challenge here for partners of Aquarians is to understand that this need for authenticity isn't about being emotionally distant, it's about seeking genuine, meaningful connection without any games or pretense. For someone born on February 17th, the search for authenticity is often tied to their idealism. They tend to view the world in terms of what could be, and this can make them particularly sensitive when it comes to relationships. They are less likely to settle for mediocrity and more likely to hold out for a connection that is deep, sincere, and transformative. And when they find that connection, it's rare that they will let it go. Their love isn't fleeting or superficial, it's grounded in their core beliefs and values, which means that their commitment runs incredibly deep. The quiet intensity of Aquarius love. Another key element to understanding Aquarians, especially those born on March 3rd, is the quiet intensity with which they experience love. It's not about grand gestures or excessive displays of affection. It's not about constant neediness or emotional outbursts. Instead, their love is consistent, thoughtful, and grounded in a deep understanding of who they are as individuals. When an Aquarius is in love, their devotion is unwavering, but it may not be as outwardly obvious as what others might expect. This can be frustrating for some people who are used to more overt signs of affection. But for Aquarians, the act of loving someone is something that is felt deeply on a personal level. They may show their love through small gestures, through sharing their thoughts, offering a listening ear, or providing space for their partner to grow. Their love doesn't need to be loud, it simply needs to be real. For those in relationships with Aquarians, it's important to recognize that the quiet moments are where the true depth of their feelings lies. They may not say, "I love you," all the time, but their actions will show it. They might not express their emotions in a traditional way, but they will find their own methods to communicate that they care. The balance between independence and intimacy. One of the most challenging aspects of being in a relationship with an Aquarius, particularly those born on February 17th or March 3rd, is striking a balance between their need for independence and the desire for intimacy. Aquarians prize their freedom and autonomy, and they need to feel like they have the space to grow and explore on their own terms. If a partner tries to restrict or control them, they'll pull back emotionally. That said, Aquarians also crave genuine intimacy, a deep connection that transcends surface-level interaction. They need someone who understands their need for space and who can respect their individuality while also being present for the quieter, more vulnerable moments. It's about finding a partner who can give them the freedom to be themselves while also showing up emotionally when it matters most. For Aquarians, relationships are not about possession or control. They're about mutual respect, shared ideals, and emotional growth. And while they may not always express their feelings in ways that others expect, their love is always authentic, intense, and unwavering. Chapter 4. Aquarius at work, ambitious yet unpredictable. Aquarians, particularly those born on February 20th or March 8th, are often viewed as the ultimate visionaries in the workplace. Their minds are sharp, their ambitions are high, and they possess an innate drive to challenge the status quo. They thrive in environments that allow them to stretch their creativity and innovate, often coming up with groundbreaking ideas that can completely reshape industries. If you've ever worked with an Aquarius born on one of these days, you'll quickly realize they're not the type of person to follow the traditional playbook. Instead, they're rewriting it, creating their own rules, and in the process, they often lead the way forward. Take the case of someone I know, born on March 8th, who completely transformed a failing business. What's fascinating about this individual is their ability to look at a problem from angles that others simply wouldn't think of. While everyone else was fixated on the existing methods, the status quo, and the traditional solutions, this Aquarius took a step back and approached the situation from a fresh perspective. They didn't just follow the standard industry practices, they invented new ways to solve the problem. And in doing so, they managed to turn the company around in a way that was nothing short of remarkable. This is the true genius of Aquarius. They are not just workers, they are innovators. They see opportunities where others see obstacles, and they have the courage to pursue uncharted paths. For Aquarians born on February 20th or March 8th, this visionary quality is often what sets them apart from their peers. They're constantly thinking about the bigger picture, and they're not afraid to break free from conventional wisdom to reach it. However, this is also where the challenges begin to appear. Aquarians are known for being free spirits, and while that sounds great in theory, it can be a double-edged sword in the workplace. Their creativity is their greatest asset, but it's also the source of their unpredictability. An Aquarius might dive into a project with unparalleled enthusiasm and passion, bringing new energy and fresh ideas to the table. But if their interest wanes or they feel their creativity is being stifled, they may suddenly lose motivation or shift their focus elsewhere, without any warning. I've witnessed this firsthand with an Aquarius born on February 20th. They were incredibly excited about starting a new business venture, pouring hours of energy and thought into creating something fresh and unique. They had a grand vision and were incredibly motivated at the outset. But as the months went on, they began to feel that the project wasn't aligning with their evolving ideas. Perhaps it didn't offer the creative freedom they craved. Or maybe they realized it wasn't the innovation they initially envisioned. And just like that, the business venture was abandoned. They pivoted to something entirely different, chasing a new idea with the same enthusiasm. This kind of behavior can be frustrating for those around Aquarians. After all, the rest of the world tends to prize consistency and stability in work, qualities that Aquarius sometimes struggles with. They may seem flaky, unpredictable, or prone to changing directions without warning. For a traditional work environment that requires long-term commitment and gradual growth, this can feel like a disruption. But there's a lesson to be learned here. Not just for those who work with Aquarians, but for Aquarians themselves. The key to success for an Aquarius born on February 20th or March 8th lies in their ability to balance their creative restlessness with a certain level of consistency. Aquarius thrives when they can create and innovate on their own terms. But true success often demands stability, especially when it comes to long-term projects or professional commitments. Aquarians need to understand that while it's great to chase new ideas and think outside the box, there is real power in commitment and follow-through. Sure, starting new projects is exciting, but finishing them is where the real transformation happens. The challenge for Aquarians is finding the sweet spot between their relentless drive for innovation and the grounded focus that comes with consistency. If an Aquarius can learn to see their initial interest in a project as a spark that needs to be nurtured, rather than a passing whim, they can achieve extraordinary results in their professional lives. Take a moment to reflect on the way you approach your work if you're an Aquarius. Are you starting projects and leaving them unfinished? Chasing the thrill of novelty without seeing things through? If so, it might be time to pause and ask yourself whether you're using your potential to its fullest. Perhaps the key isn't in starting something new, but in taking what you've already created and elevating it to the next level. The need for independence at work. Another hallmark of Aquarius, particularly for those born on February 20th and March 8th, is their deep need for independence in the workplace. They cannot thrive in an environment where they feel micromanaged or constrained. Aquarius needs the space to express their unique ideas, and they often struggle in rigid, hierarchical workplaces where innovation is stifled by bureaucracy. The ideal career for an Aquarius is one that allows them to work autonomously, where they can explore their ideas freely without being bogged down by unnecessary rules or expectations. In a team environment, Aquarians are at their best when they're given the freedom to contribute in their own way, without someone constantly looking over their shoulder. They're not ones to follow orders without questioning them, and they're far more effective when they can collaborate in a way that allows them to maintain a sense of independence. This might mean that an Aquarius is best suited to roles that encourage creativity, problem-solving, and innovation, like entrepreneurship, consulting, or positions that require them to take initiative and work independently. However, this need for autonomy can sometimes be a challenge when working within more traditional or structured organizations. Aquarians may clash with authority figures or feel stifled by rules that don't seem to make sense to them. For Aquarians born on February 20th or March 8th, it's crucial to find a balance between maintaining their independence and being part of a collaborative team. They can offer invaluable insights and visionary thinking, but they also need to respect the boundaries and expectations of the organization they're in. Striking this balance is key to their professional success. For an Aquarius, career success isn't just about financial gain or climbing the corporate ladder. It's about finding a career that aligns with their values and allows them to contribute to the greater good. Aquarians are often drawn to work that has a social impact, whether it's through technology, activism, or innovation that benefits society. They want to be a part of something that challenges the way things are done and makes a real difference in the world. If you're an Aquarius born on February 20th or March 8th, your career journey is likely to be one driven by your desire to contribute to something meaningful. This might mean pursuing work in a nonprofit organization, technology sector, or any industry that allows you to challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of what's possible. The key is to stay true to your values and choose work that fuels your sense of purpose. For Aquarians born on February 20th or March 8th, their career paths can be both inspiring and unpredictable. They are visionaries with incredible potential to change the world, but they must learn to channel their creativity into consistency. They thrive when they have the freedom to innovate on their own terms. But to truly succeed, they need to balance their innate restlessness with the stability required to see projects through. When Aquarians can master this balance, there's no limit to the greatness they can achieve. Chapter 5. Understanding the Aquarius Mindset, the Struggle of Freedom. The Aquarian quest for freedom is undeniable. If you were born on February 25th or March 12th, you're probably no stranger to that relentless desire for independence that seems to define much of your life. It's a craving that runs deep, a need to escape the constraints of routine. structure, and anything that feels confining. But this isn't about rejecting people or relationships. It's about carving out space for yourself to think, to grow, and to evolve on your own terms. Yet, while the drive for freedom can be empowering, it often leads to internal and external struggles, especially when it comes to relationships and work. At the heart of the Aquarius mindset is a profound urge to break free from the norms and limitations imposed by society. For someone born on February 25th, this need for autonomy can feel almost like a biological instinct. The idea of being confined to a typical 9-to-5 job, bound by rigid rules, is often anathema to them. The Aquarian needs to be unshackled from conventional expectations in order to truly thrive. In their ideal world, they would be their own boss, able to create, explore, and innovate without being weighed down by rules that stifle their ideas. But therein lies the challenge. Take for example an Aquarius born on February 25th. This person might initially excel in a traditional office setting, bringing fresh ideas to the table and impressing others with their intellectual prowess and creativity. But over time, the rigidity of the structure, the lack of flexibility, and the constraints of office culture may begin to wear on them. They may start to feel like they're suffocating in a box they didn't create. The same ideas that sparked their creativity at first now feel like chains. The thought of being tied down to a desk, following a set routine, or having to conform to standard ways of doing things becomes unbearable. It's not that the Aquarius dislikes collaboration or is unwilling to work hard, it's just that they need the freedom to explore and experiment on their own terms. Being constantly boxed into traditional roles or feeling micromanaged can trigger an Aquarian's sense of rebellion, causing them to retreat or lose interest altogether. They may abandon a project, job, or relationship if they feel like it's suppressing their individuality or preventing them from reaching their full potential. I remember a close friend of mine, an Aquarius born on March 12th, who went through something similar. He worked in a corporate setting for several years, and while he was very successful in his role, he began to feel disconnected from the company culture. The pressure to conform to a standard approach stifled his creativity, and he started to dread going into the office. The job, which at first seemed exciting and filled with potential, soon became a cage. He eventually quit and started his own business, giving himself the freedom to pursue his passion projects and work in a way that allowed him to challenge the status quo. It was only then that he truly began to flourish, balancing freedom with commitment, responsibility. But as Aquarians know all too well, freedom isn't always a straight path to happiness. The very thing they crave, autonomy, often creates a sense of disconnection from others, whether in their personal lives or careers. In relationships, for instance, their need for space can be misinterpreted as coldness or disinterest. An Aquarius born on February the 25th may have a tendency to withdraw when they feel like their freedom is being encroached upon. They might not communicate well during those times, leaving their partners wondering whether they're emotionally distant or simply too caught up in their own world. The Aquarius doesn't mean to push people away, but their intense need for personal freedom often makes it difficult for them to balance the demands of a relationship with their desire to maintain autonomy. This struggle between wanting to stay connected with others and needing the freedom to be themselves is an ongoing challenge. In fact, it's one of the most significant hurdles Aquarians face in their personal lives. Relationships require compromise, empathy, and sometimes even sacrificing some of that independence for the sake of intimacy. But for an Aquarius, this can feel like an unnatural act. The concept of being tied down, whether through romantic commitment, family obligations, or even professional expectations, can cause them to feel trapped. This need for independence is not about rejecting closeness or connection, it's about maintaining individuality within those connections. Aquarians want to be able to show up as their most authentic selves, without having to suppress their true nature or feel restricted by others' expectations. They need a partner who understands their need for space, someone who doesn't take it personally when they want time alone to recharge, reflect, or simply pursue their passions, balancing freedom with commitment. So, how can an Aquarius born on February 25th or March 12th learn to navigate this internal tension? The key lies in finding balance, recognizing that true freedom doesn't come from complete detachment or isolation, but rather from learning to coexist with commitments without feeling stifled. It's about being self-aware enough to realize when their drive for freedom is pushing people away or causing them to abandon important projects prematurely. One of the greatest lessons for Aquarians in this regard is learning how to commit, not just to others, but also to their goals and their long-term vision. It's easy for an Aquarius to jump from one project or relationship to the next, chasing novelty and excitement, but true growth often comes from seeing something through to the end. The same freedom that makes Aquarians excellent innovators can sometimes make them impatient with anything that feels stagnant or unchanging. The trick is to commit to a cause or a relationship that aligns with their values and allows for the freedom to evolve over time. This doesn't mean sacrificing their individuality or stifling their creativity. It simply means that commitment can coexist with freedom, especially if the Aquarius can find the right environment, whether that's in their personal life, career, or creative pursuits, that encourages growth without smothering their spirit. It's also about accepting that while freedom is an essential part of who they are, there are times when dedication to a cause, relationship, or long-term goal is just as important as autonomy. Freedom as a path to personal growth. For Aquarians born on February 25 or March 12, the path to true fulfillment often involves recognizing that freedom is a dynamic process, not a static state. It's not about running away from responsibilities or commitments, it's about creating the space in their lives to grow, evolve, and express themselves freely, without fear of being restricted by the expectations of others. Ultimately, the quest for freedom is deeply tied to personal growth for an Aquarius. It's about having the autonomy to explore new ideas, push boundaries, and make the world a better place through innovation. However, in order to truly achieve their full potential, Aquarians must learn to temper their need for constant change with the ability to stay grounded in their commitments. It's not always an easy balance to strike, but when an Aquarius can learn to embrace both freedom and responsibility, that's when they can truly begin to thrive, both in their professional and personal lives. The ultimate lesson here for Aquarians is to find freedom within their commitments, not to view them as restrictive, but as opportunities to shape their journey in ways that remain true to who they are. Once they can strike this balance, they will unlock their greatest potential and live a life of true fulfillment. Conclusion: harnessing the power of Aquarius. Aquarius, whether your birthday falls on February 10 or March 15, you are undoubtedly a force to be reckoned with. With your visionary mind, rebellious spirit, and relentless drive to innovate, you stand out as one of the most unique and fascinating signs of the zodiac. Your mind doesn't just think outside the box, it has the ability to reinvent the box entirely. You're the trailblazer of the zodiac, the one who can see beyond what is and imagine what could be. But, with all this power and brilliance comes a crucial responsibility, the responsibility to understand your strengths, embrace your passions, and channel your restlessness into something truly meaningful. As an Aquarius, you have the potential to reshape not just your own future, but the future of the world itself. Whether it's through your groundbreaking ideas, your ability to challenge the status quo, or your relentless pursuit of freedom, you possess the rare gift of seeing things others often overlook. But to unlock the full potential of this gift, you must also learn how to balance your drive for change with the patience and discipline required to turn those dreams into reality. The future is in your hands. Aquarius, embrace your true nature, and allow yourself to be both the dreamer and the doer. You are a cosmic visionary. The universe has given you a unique role to play, and it's up to you to live out that role with purpose. So, whether you're changing industries, breaking boundaries in your personal life, or simply innovating on a small scale, remember that your power lies in your ability to dream big, and more importantly, to take action on those dreams. If you found this journey into the world of Aquarius enlightening, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Esoteric Wisdom for more deep dives into astrology, esoteric knowledge, and the hidden patterns of the universe that influence our lives in ways we may never fully understand. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment below, whether it's your own personal experience with Aquarius energy, or how you've seen these traits manifest in your life or the lives of those around you. Also, feel free to share this video with fellow Aquarians, or anyone else you think would benefit from exploring the stars with us. Let's continue to expand our minds and unravel the mysteries of the universe together. Remember, the universe is vast. And so are you. Keep dreaming, keep evolving, and always keep pushing the limits of what's possible. Until next time, stay cosmic.